Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Brick GP. Oh no, I don't feel so good.
Right, well, now we're back to normal size. It's a little bit easier to get some explanation starting, so welcome, guys. And today's episode, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the circulatory system, and in particular, the heart. So, what is the heart? So the heart's actually a muscle in our body that allows us to move our blood around. And by doing so, it allows us to take in the oxygen that we breathe and move it around, as well as the nutrients that we eat from our food. It also allows us to get rid of waste when we breathe out, like carbon dioxide, but also when we pee and poo. In order to do this, our heart acts as the body's pump. So, where is the heart? So the heart sits in the middle of our chest, and it's surrounded by our left and right lungs. So on the outside, these are protected by special bones called ribs. So how does the heart work? Well, the heart is made up of 3 layers of muscles that can squeeze and relax. It's divided into 4 parts. There's the left and the right side, and then there's the top and the bottom sections. So the top sections are called the atria, and the bottom sections are called the ventricles. The left and the right side of the heart are divided by a wall of muscle, which we call the septum. And then the top and the bottom parts are divided by valves. These valves allow the blood to travel around the heart in a single direction and not to flow backwards. Let's follow the journey of one of our friendly little red blood cells, whoop, as it goes around the body. So let's just say that this red blood cell's come back from a trip around the left foot. It's just come back and it's gone back into our heart. So when the right atrium squeezes or contracts, it pushes the blood into the right ventricle. Now, when the right ventricle contracts or squeezes, boom, you can see the blood goes out and then into the lungs. And then that comes back to the heart. Like so. So it then ends up in the left atrium, which then squeezes and pushes the blood into the left ventricle. And again, like we did before, when the left ventricle then squeezes and contracts, it pushes the blood out to the rest of the body. Now it can either go to the gut and then the liver and back, or it can go anywhere else from the tip of our head to our toes. So when the blood is in your digestive system, i.e. your intestines, it allows us to absorb nutrients from the food that we've eaten and digested. And that then goes around our body and is stored in places like our liver, or is used up by other cells in our body. But also, if the blood is high in waste, these places will also help to clean out the blood, like the kidneys or the liver. So you'll often see in pictures and diagrams that actually the left side of the heart is a lot bigger than the right side of the heart. And that's because the right ventricle only needs to squeeze blood a short distance to the lungs, whereas the left ventricle needs to push the blood a lot further, all the way up to our head and all the way down to our toes. Now that was a really tiring journey for our friendly little red blood cell here, but did you know that in fact there are 3 main types of blood cells? We've introduced our red blood cell before. There are also white blood cells, and then there are also little teeny tiny platelets. But we won't talk too much about those today because we're going to do another videos on blood cells in the future. So in order for our blood not to leak out everywhere once it's being pumped around our body, it goes around in special tubes. Now these tubes come in 3s. Again, I think the human body likes the number 3. Now arteries are blood vessels that carry the blood away from the heart. These are normally quite big blood vessels, and they become smaller and smaller into arterioles, little ones. And then these become the capillaries, is where all of the exchange happens. So if it's in the lungs, the oxygen comes in and the carbon dioxide comes out. If it's in the intestines, the food comes in and some waste goes out. If it's in the kidneys, again, the waste comes out. And once it's done what it needs to do in the cells where it goes, the capillaries then go into veins or little venules, and then these become larger and larger veins, which then come back to the heart. So that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour of the circulatory system. And here's some fun facts. Did you know that an adult heart weighs about 460 grams, or about 1 pound in weight? Now that's about the same as a bag of sugar. The human heart beats around 1 to 1.5 times a second, or around 60 to 90 beats per minute. So that means that on an average day, it'll beat around 100,000 times a day. And in that time, the heart pumps around 5 litres of blood around the body every single minute. So if your heart is resting, it'll beat around 7,200 litres of blood around the body every single day. But there'll be much more if you're active. So what are the things that you can do to keep your heart healthy? So one of the things would be making sure that you're eating healthy food. So food that is not too high in sugar, food that is not too high in fat, and also plenty of fruit and vegetables to get your minerals and vitamins. A second thing would be to drink plenty of water every day, especially if it's hot or if you're out exercising. The third thing is, whatever you do, do not start smoking. That can be very, very harmful for your heart. Now, I thought we could also do a cool little experiment. I would like you to take 2 fingers from one hand and either put them on the inside of your wrist where your thumb comes down and just have a feel there. And see if you can feel a little bump. The other way that you can do this is by following the angle where your jaw is and putting 2 fingers underneath there and pressing gently, being nice and quiet and breathing slowly. Can you feel something? That is your pulse. Now, did you know that the pulse is a bit of blood that's being pushed around your body in an artery? That's pretty cool, right? So you can count how quickly or how slowly your heart's beating. So everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this short video on the circulatory system and learned a few things about the heart. I would love it if you could leave a comment, even a like, or maybe even think about subscribing. I'm hoping to do a few more videos like this in the future so that you can hopefully learn some more bits on the human body. Thanks a lot. Bye.